Hey, good job watching the last couple of videos. And today I'm excited to tackle something that I want to help you overcome so badly, and that is negative thinking. You know, I'm always saying like, have a positive attitude and look on the bright side of things. That is because it's really easy to fall into the trap of negative thinking. In fact, negative thinking is so much easier. I mean, positive thinking requires effort. So let's talk negativity for just a minute. Like, I will give it like 2 minutes of energy, okay? But I want to let you know that there are actually 4 different forms of negative thinking. And the first one is an all or nothing thinking. An all or nothing negative thinking is when someone's like, it needs to be perfect or I'm not doing it. I'm not going to do it because I'm not ready. The stars aren't aligned. And so people just have that negative attitude of like, well, if it's not perfect, then forget about it. Number 2 negative thinking is when you're disqualifying all of the positives. So there's that time when you can say like, you know, just life feels like one disappointment after another. You know, just nothing is happening for me. Have you ever done that yourself? Or have you ever known someone who's done that and they're just like, gosh, it's the worst. The next is negative self-labeling. So that would be where someone says, I'm a failure. I'm so flawed. I'm just a mess. If people knew the real me, they wouldn't like me. And the last form of negative thinking is catastrophizing, and that's basically where someone says, if the worst thing's gonna happen, it's gonna happen to me. And so I'm gonna give you ways to overcome that negative thinking so you can be that positive person, you can be that light. And when you are that positive person, you're gonna feel more confident, you're gonna feel more powerful. So let's change our brains. So sometimes, real quick, our thoughts can actually come from how we were raised or the people that we spend time around. So when you start to have certain feelings of like negative feelings, think about what you're thinking about. You could be raised where, you know, just everything was just kind of down. And so you start to think that way. And then you have down feelings about yourself, which are going to create the actions that are not going to move you forward. I've got 7 ways that you are going to switch your negative thinking into positive. This is an easy one. Every time you have a negative thought come in your head, replace it with a positive one, okay? So if you say, I'm not good enough, flip that thought to, I can do this. Or I am worthy, I am good enough. Number 2, if you catch yourself visualizing negativity, if you catch yourself visualizing you failing, okay? I want you to then close your eyes and visualize yourself succeeding. Visualize something positive happening. But if you visualize you succeeding and having positive thoughts, that's what's gonna happen. So replace it. Number 3, this is huge. And I know this because I talk with women all the time that need this, and I do too. So I'm so excited to share it with you. If you find yourself using negative words about yourself, switch those to positive words. You know, if you say, I'm ugly, no, cross it out. I am beautiful, okay? And you need to see what other people see in you. This next tip is to replace the words I can't with the words I can. So if you find yourself, you know, something comes your way and you're like, I can't, you know, I just can't. That usually comes from fear. It usually comes from maybe even laziness. The next way to deal with your negative thinking is to replace, once again, any negative phrases or thoughts that continually come into your head. We kind of have the same things that replay, like I was talking about before, like reruns in our heads, and it's just continually like, I can't do that, I'm not worthy. These are like common phrases that people say to themselves, and I want you to replace those. Okay, and the last one is to, right now, today, decide to change your thinking. Someone told me this phrase, and recently when I was at a conference and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm dying, I love it. He said, if your thinking is stinking, then your life is shrinking. So really decide today to leave negative thinking behind you and know that if you move forward, even if you have to fake it until you make it, like literally do it. I want you to think about the common negative thoughts that creep into your mind, that creep into your thinking, that creep into your heart. And you know, maybe write them down, cross them out, do the opposite, give yourself some positive affirmations, and decide that when that stinking thinking tries to creep in, what are you gonna do? You're gonna replace it with positivity, right? Because you're better than that. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.